Hello and welcome back. We are playing Call of the Wild, and today we are working on our Layton Lake District quest walkthrough. Just a quick recap on the DLCs: Weapon Pack 1, High Tech Hunting Pack, Tents and Ground Blinds, and Tree Stands and Tripod Pack. Basic guidelines for this quest build is harvest animals only in their zone. Number 2 is harvest around the quest line. And number 3 is we want minimal hunting pressure. With the DLCs and the general guidelines for the walkthrough gone over, let's continue this. So where we last left off, we were at this outpost. We had just completed creating our first loadout, our basic loadout for our 243. We're still using the soft points that the game provides for us in the beginning. And we have a mission. So the story is Hope, a visitor. And while Hope was away one evening, his camp was ransacked. And so Doc has asked us to check out his camp for him. Let's take a look. All right. So it's just west of us. Coming into the game, Doc did provide me with some new hunting opportunities. I might go check that out. So I'm deciding I'm going to travel north. I'm going to hit this trail to Hope's camp. But first, I want to travel through here. I'm looking for mostly rest zones and feed zones. It is 0800, a little after. I've got 2 sightings. You gave me... Okay. Well, traveling north, I don't want to travel south. I will check out this one. And then make my way north. So we've got our plan. Let's ready our standard binoculars. Let's go check out that trail, that lead. So how are y'all doing? Y'all doing all right? Are you having fun exploring this game? If you're playing along, don't forget to please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get updated when the new videos come out. Again, another recap is we will be going over basic strategies as they develop and come up in the game. Alright, a little slow on that one. Let's see what Doc spotted. I'm chasing a ghost, I suppose. Alright, so let's now put our marker here in the middle and make our way north. That's interesting, I've not seen that yet. I get 2 hunting opportunity markers, and one kind of is a dud. It'll be interesting to see if the second one is also a dud. I would suspect maybe not. Alright, so I'm not interested in spotting too much. Plus this is some thick trees. I'm mostly looking for animal calls. So that was a flea right away. So I'm going to guess that that animal was traveling. I am interested though in that blacktail call, or it could be a whitetail. I want to make some noise. I do want another vocalization. Alright. We'll continue forward. We can do some spotting at the lake if we do have a window. So we can see an animal traveling. It's an elk.
Hunting Roosevelt elk, I see. The Roosevelt's a big fella, but its good sense of smell and hearing make it tricky to hunt.
Alright, so we got our first zone, and it's an eating zone. There's also animals traveling next to it. Whoa. We've got some elk traveling right next to us as well. Ah. Well, I guess I kind of asked for that, didn't I? Well, very cool. We did get a zone. So let's check out that feed zone. We only spotted one animal in it. It was a male. It's from 8 to 12. I am just in the middle of this game trail here. I'm going to go ahead and click on
The black-tailed deer are one of the easiest animals in the reserve to hunt. Still, be wary of your noise and the wind direction, as their senses are quite good.
So what I'm doing is I'm going to kind of backtrack that blacktail and see if I can find where it was coming from. So it is heading in the direction. Okay, we got a blacktail warning call.
Sounds like Richard's gonna need a helping hand.
Alright, let's go towards that marker. See if we can get a zone.
Sorry, we got this full-blown survivalist fella living out here all year round. Richard Hope. He got in a bit of trouble, it seems. I can fill you in on the details later.
So now it's fleeing, and we did. This is a rest zone. It's for blacktail. It's from 08 to noon. And so this is a good example of how a rest spot does not have to be exactly in the center of where the zone marker is. So I put my cursor roughly in the center, and it is 73 meters away. So roughly 100 meters around the zone is where you can find their different feed patches, drink patches, and rest patches. It looks like there's only one animal there. I'm only seeing the one zone. And this also was from a female too. Alright, so we got a zone. Actually, that's a different animal, because that animal I picked up was a female. So that's a different zone. Excuse me. With that other blacktail though in the area, because as you can see, it is a different animal. If this was the same animal from this zone, as this is still lit up, this would also be lit up. So there's definitely other blacktail activity in this area. Other rest zones, feed zones, and with there being such a big water source next to us in this area, there's definitely a feed zone or two. We've just got to be here at the right time. Or make our way around the lake looking for recent tracks. Alright, so this is a hunting stand. You do have to pay for these. This one costs $2,100. $100 meters. Let's go check that out. This early in the game, we don't want to be too picky now about our zones. The more zones we have, the better. Also, different species can also have different times in the zone as well. So species can share zones. Well, it's not fair. For a feed zone, you want to look for a carcass when it comes to bear. And for a rest zone, you want to look for the same matted down plants that all the other rest zones have. Well, I found a shed. That's cool.
Look at that. You found a shed. I've already got a big enough collection back home, so I've started selling any new ones I find. People often buy them for handicrafts, you know. Knife handles and such. I once sold a really nice moose antler for 500 bucks.
Well, I'm going to take my good fortune of finding the shed and move on. So I'm going to put my waypoint here.
If you want to stay busy on the road, I'd keep a lookout for sheds. You know, antlers that are shed by the reserve animals. They're rare to find and very popular to collect.
Look at this. Beautiful. A feed zone for black-tailed deer. And its time is 04 to 08. Both zones, ooh, okay, so there's 3 zones lit up. So perhaps that's the same animal, the animal that left those tracks. Okay, you see how I'm deducing this? And so there's another feed site over here, and this should be a different animal. Okay, it's still blacktail, it's still the same zone. It would have been nice if that would have lit up. Maybe the other patch lights up. If we had the skill to read the tracks and the gender, we'd be able to tell a lot more information, but that will come later. Let's see if we hit this, if this is the same deer. No. Okay, so we can tell that this deer, as far as we can tell at this time, does not come to this feed zone. And this deer also does not come to this rest zone, as far as we can tell at this time. Interesting. Nice find. Let's continue on. Ooh, yes. Alright, so it is the same animal from that southern patch. Quick scan around the water. I am making a lot of noise, so I'm not too concerned about finding anything along the water right now. I'm being very noisy. Interesting. You never know. We heard a bear vocal. We went to go check it out. Found a shed. And we found a blacktail feed zone. There could be a drink zone maybe in here. I don't want to go in that too much. It's a beautiful day. What do we have here? Okay. So that's a call. It's a mating call. It's 140 to 190 meters away. It's out there. I'm going to let that one pass. It's a little too far in the wrong direction. And that also could be in the feed zone. We can check it out once we get a line of sight for that feed zone though. Alright, so I spooked it. 120 meters. That could easily have been in the feed zone. Hearing some mallard. Now mallards do leave a little bit of a different trail. They will leave feathers. And their tracks disappear fairly quickly. I don't know if I'll be able to spot anything. Those tall grasses are pretty thick. I don't think they're on the far bank. I think they're close to me. Alright, I'm going to let that go. Hello. I don't have a shotgun, and mallard are not part of our quest. If I want the zone, since I spooked him, I can go get it. Just look for feathers. I'll show you the feathers. If I can find them. They were somewhere around here. No? Alright. That guess was wrong. I didn't even see any dung. That was nice finding a shed right along the path. Speaking of which, we did get a perk. If you look in the top center, alright, so next perk is going into zeroing. And when we get that going, I'll explain quickly and basically how that works. Alright, so I'm mostly concerned about vocals. Spotting is an extra bonus for me right now. Later on we'll go through and explore much thoroughly when we know zone times. Alright, so we got a blacktail. It's a whitetail. 90 to 120 meters. Well, that puts it in tall grass. We're not going to go losing our boots in the mud for that. Not yet, anyway. Okay. So we're coming up onto Hope's Camp boundary line. A mystery marker. Let's go ahead and put our waypoint at Hope's Camp. And now we can see what this is. So it is a quest marker. It'll add information into our codex. So this is a codex about the deer antlers. Deer bucks either have a typical or atypical antler arrangement. Typical antlers are symmetrical and their points grow straight up off the main beam. Atypical antlers are asymmetrical and their points may project at any angle from the main beam. Interesting. And that will now be found in our codex. Okay. Oops. Yep, 100 XP for that.
You're getting close. Hope mentioned seeing some tracks in the mud. See if you can find them.
Okay. Looking for some tracks. Got 2 mystery markers. Alright, so one's a hunting structure. This one is a ground blind. Okay. Then we got a bear call, bear warning. So this one costs 1,700. The hunting stands cost 2,100, and the hunting or the ground blinds cost 1,700. Okay, this is Lake District Survival Camp. Richard Hope meticulously built survivalist camps. Survivalist camps can be found across the Lake District region. When hunting is your main source of subsistence, it's very important to have a few safe havens to rest at. Okay.
You found them? Great.
Yes.
Snap some pictures for the record and see if they lead anywhere. Yeah, definitely human. Looks like a troublemaker then. Now, I don't want you to go picking any fights, but maybe you could follow them and see where they lead.
Alright. So these tracks are lit up regardless. You don't have to click on them. You can't interact with them. Let's just follow them. Turkey. Got some turkey around here.
Some ripped clothing. And no more tracks, huh? Well, just leave it for now, and I'll see what I can come up with. This'll help, though. Thanks.
Thank you. $2,500. Ooh, 500 XP. Definitely worth it. Well, we now have some new missions. Let's check out our new mission log. So, side missions. Hope number 1, travel to Belmont. And then the second objective is find 3 footprints from 3 different black-tailed deer. Above that is Hope thanking us for checking out his camp and asking us for a little bit more help. The second side mission is Doc number 21, and he wants us to go hunt down a whitetail or blacktail. So we have to travel to Lake Chalea, harvest a whitetail or blacktail at night. Oops. Okay. Well, we do need to harvest, or excuse me, we do need to track 3 different blacktails. And that's anywhere in Belmont. So we saw blacktail over here. So let's go back. See if we can get some more zones in this area. We got a coyote. We are now on the search for blacktail tracks. Move the marker. Actually, you know what? Let's fast travel. And then we can move north. Well, we've got blacktail here. Let's go see if we can find some tracks. We've also got one other location that we right now are guessing has 2 animals. This rest zone has 1 animal, so if we visit each zone, we might just get our 3 tracks from 3 separate animals. It's looking a little hazy, a little foggy. Some mist. What time is it? Okay. It's almost 10:30. Now there may be, if these zones are still active, there may be an animal in here, so we may spook an animal out. If we do, that's okay. It will return. Now the tracks, or the rest site for this was north of the marker, the zone marker. What do we have there? So we got a blacktail fleeing 60 to 80 meters. Regardless, there'll be tracks. So let's go check that out. So there's one. And yes, one deer, 3 sites, they're all lit up. Now, I don't know if these tracks will still be here. It is 2.5 hours since the animal was in this zone. The animals were in these zones. Tracks do have time limits. Let's see if these tracks are still here. It'd be nice to find another zone. Okay, so we want the blacktail, not the bear, for right now. Put our marker, let's go check that out. Definitely could be another zone. Ooh, what do we have here? Yes. I was walking right by. Excellent, excellent. So it looks like roughly one animal, 2 different feed sites. Interesting. So clicking on this animal did not light up any of these tracks. Let's click on that grass again, one of those feed zones. Let's see if it links a one in the rest zone. It does not. I still want to move forward though and see the blacktail that gave us a warning. We just need one more track. Okay, is that the bear? It's a rabbit. Okay. Yes. Look at this. Wonderful. Blacktail rest zone. So let's see if it links any. Oh, unfortunately, we can't see any tracks. Oh, we haven't been back here. Okay, so look at this. Well, it is a track, but from this animal. This animal was at this zone and went through that other feed zone. Maybe. There we go. Cash reward. We completed Hope's mission. So this rest zone looks like just one animal for now. There's a lot of tracks going through this zone though. Don't have any zones associated with it yet. Okay. The bad thing about clicking on too many tracks, different tracks, is it does start to erase other tracks, past tracks, markers on your map. So let's check out our new mission. Okay, so now we need to harvest 2 black-tailed deer in Belmont. Not a bad start. Not a bad start. 2 rest zones, 2 feed zones. This is a good time to be exploring, looking for rest zones and feed zones for blacktail. We now need to start considering which zones we're going to start pulling from. We now have an order for...
Be careful when hunting black bear. Not only are they unpredictable, but they also make very little sound and leave few tracks. You can sneak up on one without realizing it. Fortunately, they'll probably notice you before you them and will keep their distance.
So you see how 2 different species can share the same zone? And they're also sharing the zone at the same time. Interesting. This is a very good time to be looking for blacktail rest zones and feed zones. What do we have? Elk. I'm just doing a quick sweep through here. This is a good time. Don't want to pass it up. One more zone would just be beautiful. Plus, we also want healthy zones. We haven't necessarily found any big healthy zones with 3 to 4 animals. We found some single zones. This looks good for a zone. We got a warning when we approached. We got a flee from roughly the same distance. Yes. Alright, I'm only seeing one rest patch. A single animal. We don't know the gender. I don't necessarily want to pull from a single unless I have to. remember our third guideline, which is minimal hunting impact. If we have to take singles, we have to take singles though. It's not preferred. I'm just making my way through this area, hoping for just one more zone. It's always one more zone. $70 to $90 meters away. I wonder if this is the same blacktail that yelled at us when we first came in. It's fleeing. We got one. I'm going to assume that this is also just a single for now. So it's now a little after 3 hours since the blacktail feed zone. They're still in rest for the next hour. Alright, so let's head back to the outpost, regroup. If you want, on a separate piece of paper, you can record your times. So far we know that blacktail are feeding from 4 to 8 and then resting from 8 to noon. Those are the only times we have right now for blacktail. We do not know what they're going to be doing in an hour. Alright, so if you enjoyed this episode, please give a thumbs up. If you're playing along, don't forget to hit that notification bell. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe if you like this content. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.